Hello and welcome to my YouTube. This YouTube is remembering the year 1900. William McKinley was president in 1900. The United States Census estimates the country's population was 76 million. Today it's 340 million, so that means it was only 20% of today's population. In other words, go in your neighborhood and get rid of 80% of the people. Go to your church and eliminate 80% of the people. Go to your school and eliminate 80% of the students. That's how many people were in America back then. On January 3rd, Giuseppe Verdi's opera Aida makes its U.S. debut. On January 5th, Dr. Rowland of Johns Hopkins University discovers the cause of Earth's magnetism. I found this fascinating that it took us this long to figure out why there's a North and South Pole. On January 17th, Brigham H. Roberts is refused a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives because, can you guess? The first hint is his first name, Brigham, and the second is the fact that he was a representative from Utah. So he was refused a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives because he had 3 wives. On January 29th, the American League of Professional Baseball Clubs is organized. On February 3rd, Kentucky Governor William Goebel dies of wounds after being shot by assassins on January 30th. On February 5th, Britain and the United States sign a treaty for the building of a Central American shipping canal through Nicaragua, not Panama. Obviously, this never came to fruition because we all know that the canal wasn't built in Nicaragua, it was built in Panama. On April 30th, the famous train engineer Casey Jones dies in a wreck in Vaughn, Mississippi, while saving all the passengers on his train. And there's a famous song, Casey Jones, da-da-da-da-da-da, Casey Jones, da-da-da-da-da. On May 1st, the Schofield mine disaster, an explosion of blasting powder in a coal mine in Schofield, Utah, kills at least 200 men. On June 7th, American temperance activist Carrie Nations enters a saloon in Kiowa, Iowa, and destroys its stock of alcohol beverages. She became very, very famous for her little hatchet. Here's a quote from her. "I felt invincible. My strength was that of a giant. God was certainly standing by me. I smashed 5 saloons with rocks before I ever took a hatchet." Tough little lady. On June 30th, a wharf fire at the docks in Hoboken, New Jersey. The fire engulfs adjacent piers and nearby ships, and it killed 326 people. On September 13th, the Philippine-American War. Philippine resistance fighters defeat a large American column in the Battle of Pulang Lupa. On October 3rd, the Wright brothers begin their first manned glider experimental flights at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. And as we all know, eventually they put a motor on this and became the first airplane. At least the first airplane in America. On November 3rd, the first automobile show in the United States opens at New York City's Madison Square Garden. So, who was born in 1900? The politician Adlai Stevenson. The very fine actor Spencer Tracy. The very fine actress Helen Hayes. The great composer Aaron Copland. The fine actress Agnes Moorehead. And I chose a picture that most people will recognize her as. She was in the TV series Bewitched. Admiral Hyman G. Rickover. This gets personal. This was my boss when I was in the Navy. I was an instructor. Oh, by the way, Hyman Rickover is the father of the nuclear Navy. He's the man that brought nuclear power into our submarines and our ships. I was an instructor in the Naval Nuclear Power Training Center in Maryland in the early 60s. And after that, I served for 4 years as the chief nuclear reactor officer aboard the aircraft carrier USS Enterprise. So I was very, very familiar with who Hyman Rickover was. So what was introduced way back in 1900? The Hershey chocolate bar was introduced that year. The Chiclets chewing gum came out in 1900. The thumbtack was invented and released that year. They called them push pins originally. Triscuit. I still eat these. Got a box of them in my pantry right now. And sound film, the very first film that had sound embedded into it, was introduced way back in 1900. Interesting choice of subjects here. A guy playing a violin and two guys dancing. There you go. Who were the Academy Award winners back in 1900? Do you know? Actually, this is a trick question. There were none. There were no Academy Awards in the year 1900. They started in 1929. What were the most popular songs in 1900? Bird in a Gilded Cage. And you can hear this on YouTube. Just search for it. Flight of the Bumblebee by Rimsky-Korsakov. And you can hear this on YouTube as well. Ma Blushin' Rose. And yes, this is on YouTube as well. Casey Jones, da 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 da. Casey Jones, da 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 da. And it's on YouTube. What were the most popular movies in 1900? Now, there weren't a lot of movies to begin with. I'm only going to show you a couple of the top two. Number 1, Joan of Arc. And yes, this is on YouTube. I've copied just a few seconds of the beginning of it, and I've copied a little bit of the end of this just to give you a sense of the flavor. So let me put my headphones up here so you can hear this dramatic music. Joan of Arc. Here, Joan of Arc sees a vision and the angels appear to her. Now we cut to the end. Oops, this is the middle. Here she's being led to being burned. These are the bad guys. And here is the dramatic conclusion where Joan of Arc is burned at the stake. By the way, there was no color back then. This has been added in later. So he straps her to the pole. Notice all the twigs at her feet. And this guy lights the fire, sort of. What I found fascinating is nobody moved back. Here she is burning, supposedly flames leaping out. We don't actually see any flames, but nobody's moved. I mean, they're all sitting right beside her. Watch this guy. Yeah, add a few more sticks. Yeah, that'll burn her. Oh no, apparently the smoke was poisonous. Oh well. Meanwhile, she burns away. But fear not, friends. She's transported to heaven. Here are the angels, and she arrives in heaven. The end. So there you have it, Joan of Arc. And by the way, it's on YouTube. You can go and watch the whole thing. Here's another one. This movie is only 30 seconds long. Sherlock Holmes Baffled. It's on YouTube. I encourage you after this to go and watch the whole thing. It's pretty funny, actually. The average annual salary in 1900 was $449. Now, that's not per month. That is the total annual salary, $449. Let me convert that into today's dollars. That would have been $17,317 in our dollars today. That's the average annual salary in America right now is somewhere close to $70,000. So life was pretty meager back then. This floored me. The cost of a new car was $1,000, and this is what you got. Let me convert that into our dollars. Can you imagine spending $38,560 for this? Yeah. Cars were hideously expensive. Only the very wealthy could afford a car. The cost of a new home was $10,000, and this is an actual 1900 home. In our dollars, that is a $385,000 house. Can you imagine spending that much money on a house that looks like this? A gallon of gas cost 7 cents. I know that sounds ridiculously cheap. Let's convert it into our dollars. That would be $2.70, and that's pretty much what gas is in my hometown right now. So that was life in the year 1900. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something new.